How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about an incident that happened in Wauwatosa, Wisconsin, which is in the Milwaukee area. A black officer by the name of Joseph Mensah was at his house just chilling with his kids, his girlfriend. They're just doing their own thing. All of a sudden, here comes 60 so-called protesters. And before I continue, before I go any further, they're not protesters, okay? I put that in the title because they're being called protesters. I want you to be able to discover this video and see what's going on, but these are not protesters, okay? If you come to my house, you're 60 deep, you got guns, you harass me, I come outside, try to talk to you guys normally, you punching me in the face, you punching my girl in the face, you shooting into my house with a shotgun, knowing I got kids there. If that's happening, you are not a protester. You are simply a criminal, a general miscreant, somebody that should get locked up. Matter of fact, if I were the king and I could rule by fiat, anybody that does anything like that, they be sent to Gitmo on the first thing smoking, making big rocks into little rocks. That's just that. But let me get back to the story. So he's being harassed and shot at by all these people, all in the name of Black Lives Matter. Now, before I continue, let's go ahead and roll some footage from the local news out there in Wisconsin. After I get done with that, I'll come back. I'll talk about what you were able to see and read in the video. Then I'll give you the rest of my 2 cents, my deep detail analysis, and then I'll wrap it on up with a nice bow on top. So without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
Now at 9, a protest turns violent. A suspended police officer targeted and the chaos all caught on camera. It's our big story tonight. Nothing peaceful about it. The suspended Wauwatosa police officer who killed 3 people in the line of duty over the last 5 years, shot at and roughed up by angry protesters last night. Tosa police say it happened after a group gathered outside the home where Joseph Mensah was staying. Brett Lemoyne joining us live at 100th and Vienna with more and viewer video from the scene. Brett.
Yeah, and Ted, Wauwatosa police tell us they are still looking for the suspects involved. But if you look closely tonight, you can still see some of the remnants of this incident left in front of the house.
Targeted by armed protesters, on Saturday night, Wauwatosa police say roughly 60 protesters came to a private home where suspended officer Joseph Mensah was staying. Viewer video showing a chaotic scene. Investigators say Mensah tried to talk with the group, but he was physically assaulted. As Mensah went back into the home, police say one of the protesters fired a single shotgun round into the back door.
Who just shot, bro?
Mensah posted on social media after the shooting, saying the group, quote, tried to kill me, and that Mensah and his girlfriend were both assaulted, punched, and ultimately shot at several times. The irony of all this is that they chanted Black Lives Matter, he posted, but had zero regard for any of the black children that live there or me, a black man. Mensah is on a paid administrative leave after an officer-involved shooting of 17-year-old Alvin Cole from earlier this year. The case remains under review by the Milwaukee County District Attorney's Office. Mensah also killed 2 others in the line of duty. The deaths of Antonio Gonzalez and Jay Anderson were ruled self-defense. Last month, Mensah was suspended, and Wauwatosa's mayor even called for him to transition from the Wauwatosa Police Department's employment.
Now, Wauwatosa's mayor also issued a statement tonight saying he will be meeting with the police chief tomorrow morning to determine ways to keep Mensah safe throughout all of this and also to prevent future incidents from happening again. Now, Wauwatosa police and state troopers, they have also been out here all evening. We were initially told that there may be another protest that was planned for tonight, but that never materialized.
All right, so you saw that, you heard that. Now, I guess the elephant in the room from that footage for me would be, all right, you have a black officer, you're probably in a decently populated black area, and all these people talking about Black Lives Matter, how many of them are actually black? I saw some black folks out there, but I was hearing some voices and seeing some things that I'm thinking this is more of a mixed crowd. BLM at this point, Black Lives, L-I-E-S matter, or what they want to say, lives, L-I-V-E-S matter. This group is no more than the new version of the KKK. Them and Antifa together are the same group. The KKK is, well, really was the enforcement arm in the Democratic Party. they've pretty much gone away. They're no longer relevant. They're not even really around anymore. You might see 5 or 6 of these guys out there in the street with the white hood, all this and that, playing dress up, dressing as a ghost or whatever with the eyes cut out, looking ridiculous. But now you got guys out there with even more ridiculous get-ups on, with bicycle helmets and trash can lids, all kind of stupid stuff like that, right? And then the BLM people, they just out there wearing whatever. They've joined forces to basically force political action that favors the Democratic Party. This is why Mazer Hirono would not say anything negative about Antifa. This is why they won't say anything negative about Black Lives Matter. What they'll say, oh, they're largely peaceful protests, largely peaceful. How is a protest largely peaceful when it descends into chaos every single night? We've seen it all over the country. We just saw it over the weekend. Today, as I'm speaking, they're trying to clean up in Chicago. They're trying to clean up in Portland. And they're cleaning up in Portland to get ready for tonight when it's going to happen again. There's been 70 straight nights of violence and general lawlessness in Portland, Oregon. So how is that a largely peaceful protest? When you're looting 200 stores in Chicago, how is that a largely peaceful protest? When you go to this man's house, you shoot at him, you threaten him, you punch him in the face, punch his girl or his wife in his face, you threaten his kids. How is that peaceful at all? Don't come to my house, period. That's not what you should be doing. If you want to protest, okay, but under the law, under the Constitution, it says you must do a peaceful protest. A non-peaceful protest is called a riot. All right. And you cannot riot. It's actually illegal, but I digress. Let's get to what the officer did and why people are so upset at him specifically. Now, you heard in the clip that he had been involved in 3 shootings in 5 years, but 2 of the shootings were ruled self-defense. Now, the third one, he was put on paid leave for, but there's been no ruling in the case. They're showing this picture from high school or whatever when he's like 14, 15. Oh, he's a good boy, all this and that. And the third, but I don't even know what happened with the situation. I have no idea. And if you were to ask most of the so-called protesters, really rioters out there, hey, what was the situation that was going on with the last shooting or any of the shootings? They wouldn't really know. All they would just do is scream Black Lives Matter and then punch you in the face to try to shoot you. That's what's going on. Okay, this whole Black Lives Matter thing is just no more than a battle cry to go out here and engage in general chaos and lawlessness. All right, they don't know what this man did. Just because you're involved in 3 shootings does not mean that you are somehow a bad cop or anything like that. You might just live in a high crime area, a dangerous area, and you putting your life on the line, probably making like $35,000, $40,000, $50,000 a year, risking your life every day to go out here and protect the very community that you probably come from. Okay. And how are people trying to say Black Lives Matter when they go into this black man's house and harassing him and his wife and his kids and everybody else? I mean, how does that make any sense? All right. I'm seeing the most disrespect, anger, and vitriol in general. Just this threats of violence and acts of violence against black people from those that claim to be supportive of Black Lives Matter. Okay, I'm seeing on Twitter, like social media, this fear of, how can I say, shielded communication, anonymous communication. People that have BLM in their avatar want to attack you with all kind of racial stuff, will threaten you, death threats, all kind of stuff. They'll call your house, death threaten you. That's what's going on. So this whole thing about Black Lives Matter, just the phrase, and also Antifa, anti-fascist, these are very misleading terms. To the regular normie that's not really involved in politics, they would think that these groups are good and they have, a positive message and positive action, but they don't. Every single time I see Black Lives Matter or Antifa, there's a riot. Every single time. So if you're out there calling yourself peaceful, you got to understand who you're lining yourself with. If you are part of a group that turns violent every single night, then you part of the problem. Okay, there's no such thing as a peaceful Antifa protest or a peaceful Black Lives Matter protest. When Black Lives Matter and Antifa get together, they're engaging in general chaos, lawlessness, violence, or something that's subversive to society. So hopefully the police and everybody else out there are able to protect this officer. Hopefully he could protect himself. When he was at the house, he was unarmed. Now, I know he's able to shoot guns and he can defend himself, or at least he should be able to defend himself. So, anybody that's out there needs to protect themselves. I was at the gun store over the weekend and it was packed. I'm talking about window to wall, all colors, black, white, Asian. It didn't matter. It was not even a race thing. Not the whole race thing on the ground with regular people is not important. What's really important is protecting ourselves against the Antifa, the Black Lives Matter, and just general thugs and criminals in the community. We don't care about race out here in the ground, okay? If somebody got their boot on my door at a certain time of night, I'm getting my rifle or my shotgun or my pistol or all the above, and I'm going to address the threat. I don't care what color the person is on the other side of the door, but all I hear is a bang, 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 and there's going to be some bang, bang, bangs in return. That's pretty much all I got to say about it. So I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? Do you think the so-called protesters were correct to go to Joseph Mensa's home because of his involvement in 3 shootings in 5 years? If that's your viewpoint, let me know why in the comments below. Or were they incorrect to do that? I agree with you, but if you think so, let me know why in the comments below. You guys know where I stand. I said it once. I've said it twice, and I'll say it until I'm blue in the face, until the fat lady sings, until the cows come home, until the saints come marching in. Do not come to my house, period. I don't care what you think. I don't care what your politics are. Don't come to my house, all right? And really, where I live in Tennessee, people are the same way. Everybody's armed. Everybody has a gun. So just don't do it. Leave me alone, all right? Let me be in peace. I'll let you be in peace. I'm the nicest guy you ever meet in your life. But if you come to my house, you're going to see a whole different side of me. You're going to see, not joking, Mr. Hyde, straight up and down. Just don't do it. And leave this man alone out there in Wisconsin. Leave him alone. If you're a police officer, your job is to protect, your job is to enforce laws, and you have the right to defend yourself. Even if you're not an officer, you have the right to defend yourself. The first 2 shootings are ruled as self-defense. On the last one has not been ruled on yet. He's been suspended because of all the Black Lives Matter, hands up, don't shoot, so-called protests, really riots happening. They're trying to lessen the chaos from these people. So if Black lives truly matter to these individuals that are out there, then it wouldn't be attacking the police and lessening the police presence, because all you're going to do is have an increase in crime and violence and chaos in the very same places where you say that you want to protect. The same Black lives you say matter, you're going to put in jeopardy by having less police and less security in their communities. Very simple. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.